Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and into another budget with me video. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. We'd love to have you as part of our family here. My name is Sue. Hit that subscribe button before you go, and for those of you guys who keep tuning in every week, thank you so much for watching my videos. It really does mean the world to me, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this week, okay? This week has been a hot mess for me. We've had a lot of things going on at work. We had a lot of things going on at school. We had a lot of things going on after school and after work. It's been a mess. I didn't track anything, and I probably spent way too much money, and we'll get into all those details as we get through the cash envelope system here. If you are new, this is the way that I do my weekly budget. This is the money that we allocate for things that we might need throughout the week. We do separate. I have two separate budgets. I have one for all of my household expenses, which you guys don't see here on this channel, and that is out of a different budget. And then we have our weekly expenses, the money that I set back for things that we might need throughout the week, or if something happens to come up that week, we can pull out of these envelopes here. It's Valentine's Day today as I'm recording this video, so some of the things that we're getting ready to discuss in this video is going to be has already happened, and things that I know that are coming up. I'm going to explain those to you as we go along. First things first, we're going to go through our envelopes, such as our grocery money, which has nothing left in that, and then we're going to hit up our buffer and our miscellaneous fund and take out all the additional leftover little cash that might be in here, which, if I'm remembering correctly, throughout this week I spent quite a bit of money. A couple of things came up. It's Valentine's Day, so we're had a whole bunch of stuff at school and all kinds of things going down. Let me know in the comments down below how your week went, because mine has been a hot mess, okay? We have some fives here. You guys know, if you have been with me for quite some time, that I make a conscious effort not to spend my $5 bills, and I set those things back for just little extra things that we might want to do with the family, such as go to the water park or take a weekend trip somewhere. It's just my way of setting aside just a little bit of extra money, and we don't notice it that much whenever we don't spend our $5 bills, so I set that back. So this week I have $5, $10, $15, $20 in my $5 bills. Let's get here to my $5 challenge, and I will pull out my current $5 bills. Now, when my $5 bills get to $100, then I do take that out and put it into the safe here that we have at the house, just so I'm not carrying around a bunch of $5 bills. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 50, 55, 60, 65. So that is what we're working with, and I always notate how much is in my $5 bill envelope, because we have had trouble in the past with the husband or the oldest child getting in there, getting into the cash envelope system, which is fine. There's a lot of times I say just go in there, get such and such out of certain envelope, and they just pull it out of the $5 bill envelope because it's the first one that they come to. But I always like to keep track of where we're sitting at whenever I add $5 bills to it. So right now we have $65 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be the perfect amount to put into the graduation fund. So I'm just going to set those aside for now, and as we get to it, we'll explain it a little bit in further detail to you guys. But we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. Now, last week I budgeted for $100 in our grocery fund, and this week I'm only budgeting $80. And the reason why that is because two of the meals that I had planned for last week, we didn't actually prepare. So I still have chicken in my freezer, and I still have the stuff to make burritos and tacos in my refrigerator. So that's 2 meals already down. So I'm pretty sure I'm only going to need about $80. So I'm only going to budget for $80 this week. And I'm just gonna pull that right out of here. 20, 40, 60, 80. And I'm gonna throw that into my grocery envelope, okay? Next up is gas, and you guys know that I usually only have to spend about 20 bucks a week on gas. We don't do a ton of driving. My job is literally like, you know, 2 miles from my house. My husband's job is 2 miles from our house. We live in the same town that we work in, so I can put $20 of gas in my vehicle and it will literally last me all week. What you guys don't see down here in this budget breakdown is my husband also gets $20 a week for gas, which I just give him the cash for that, and I don't include it in my cash envelopes because it's not actually going into my cash envelopes. And so personal is going to get 40, and I have a $100 bill in here. I did break into this fund for something this week, but I can't remember what it was, but it was something that I personally wanted, so I went ahead and picked that up. And I'm just gonna put this $40 in there with that $100 bill. A lot of times this personal fund is for me getting my nails done, my haircuts, things like that. My husband also gets $40 a week for that as well, but again, I'm not adding it in here because I just give him the cash for that. I don't put it into our cash envelopes. School is going to get 20, and I have 20 in here already. This reason why I do a cash envelope for school is because my kids, the way that they eat lunch at school for breakfast sometimes and for lunch, I have one kid that takes his lunch, one kid that don't. It's just easier for me to put the money, set back the money in this envelope, and as we need it, then we just pull out of that. Not always does the little one need lunch money, and not always does the big one need lunch money, if that makes sense. Whereas my oldest child, who is 17 in high school, I just put $100 on his account at the beginning of every month. That amount will come out of my bill money because it's the same every single month. Whereas this will fluctuate. The 2 little ones' lunch monies will fluctuate, so I just put it in the cash envelope system. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Dollar Tree, I haven't been going to Dollar Tree, so I'm just gonna leave this blank for now. Car maintenance is going to get $20, so I'm going to add $20 in there. I did have to pull out a 20, I believe, this week for a part that my husband needed for his Jeep. So there's $60 in there now, and I do know that this week we are also going to be having to put a Cadillac converter into my car. Now, I do have a emergency savings fund in the bank for vehicle purposes, but for this, things that, you know, we can afford week to week, then I just, you know, put back the 20 if we need a new tire, the money's here. That emergency savings is really for like if one of our cars like completely breaks down and we have to purchase a new one. Both of our cars are paid off, so we do acquire some maintenance to our vehicles, but we don't have any payments on our vehicles, if that makes sense. Clothing is gonna get 20, and this, I depleted this account this week because we were getting things for Valentine's Day parties and stuff. We got the boys new little cute little t-shirts and things like that, so, and they each got a new pair of jeans as well for Valentine's Day. The one oldest child has a dance to go to, so I pulled some money out for that. So I'm just gonna put $20 in there. Sports, of course, will get $10, 20, 40, 60, 80, and then we have a $10 bill here. It is almost sign up time for baseball season, and I'll have 2 out of the 3 boys playing baseball. This is just a supplemental fund for things such as, you know, t-shirts. Whenever they start selling their team t-shirts and things like that, mom, dad, all the kids usually get a t-shirt, baseball hats, cleats, anything like that that might be extra. We do budget, we do have a budget in our checking account specifically for sports. I have 3 boys. We spend about $5,000 a year on sports. So I do have budgeted money in my checking account specifically for sports because I know what those fees are going to cost me. So like the fees and the startup fees for each sport, each season, all that stuff is budgeted monthly and it's in my checking account. This is just extra for the additional things that might come up that we might need. So there's that. Miscellaneous will get 40, of course. Usually I do put 40 in my miscellaneous, and that's just for anything that might come up. If we need a loaf of bread throughout the week, I can go and get it, so forth and so on. Family fun always gets 20. We always do pizza night, so there's that. Gifts, I'm not putting anything in, and I depleted this account this week. Right before I filmed this video, I went and got my husband's Valentine's Day present. So I spent the 20 already that I was going to add in here to go with the gift fund. So I'm not putting anything in there this week because I've already used it. Vacation will get 20. And you guys know last week I deposited $100 out of my vacation fund into my safe. So we're starting over on that. And then the buffer account will of course get 20 as per usual. And then I'm going to be adding the $7 that I have here into the graduation fund. For my oldest son, we are going to be taking a trip to Rome, and I have budgeted in my household budget the finances for like our plane tickets and our room and board, our hotel stays, things like that. But I'm just going to be adding, you know, like last week I added $6. This week I'm adding $7. Next week I'll add $8. The following week I'll add $9, so forth and so on. And I'll do that throughout the rest of this year and all the way through graduation next year. He doesn't actually graduate until May of next year. So I'm just saving up a little bit at a time just for extra little things that we might do or want to do while we're there. So that gives us 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $28. And I just started doing this the beginning of January. In hindsight, I probably should have started it at the beginning of the school year, but I didn't. So anyway, this is just a little bit of extra money, play money for when we go on our trip. And that is that. That is all that I have for this week's budget. I'm not adding anything in here. So total, I put in here $110 plus the $7, so it's actually $317. Like I said, my car fund, I do have to put a catalytic converter in my car. We've already bought the part, but I'll have to pay for somebody to put it in. So my car maintenance fund is probably going to be depleted by the end of this journey this week. I think the car goes into the shop tomorrow to be worked on. We will see. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. If you are new here, welcome. We'd love to have you as part of our family here. If you're interested in the cash envelope system that I use, I will have that, my Etsy store. I do sell these in my Etsy store, linked in my description box below. I do not sell the covers. This is a Happy Planner notebook. You can pick these up at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or any craft store. I will have one linked in my description bar below. I do sell the cash envelopes for the smaller version plus the 9x7 version, which is a little bit longer this way. So if you're interested, I'll have the link in my shop below. I am currently trying to work on getting new cash envelopes posted. I have them about halfway done, and of course you guys, if you're interested, you can keep checking back in on my store. I also will have my budget planner here linked in the description box below. I did purchase this one from Amazon. If you're interested in that, that's also linked down below. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the description box, and we will see you guys next week for another Budget With Me video. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time in my next video. Bye, guys.